at the Arewa Consultative Forum not really speak as hopefully as you've been speaking. They say that this move from Peter Obi is political strategy because, well, I can't speak for them, but perhaps the belief is that if he says that he only wants to do one term, then people in the north would be more inclined to back his presidency because there would be a rotation of power back to the north thereafter. What do you think about what the ACF had to say about this promise to only serve one term if he is elected come 2027?
Yeah, it's a very good pitch, and the ACF and other component parts of northern Nigeria would want to actually give it a thought. But of course, then comes the question. It's not even about Peter Obi's proposal. My greatest fear for Peter Obi is that which major political party will hand over its ticket to him. Because the greatest fear is that Peter Obi, going into ADC, for example, can he stand an Atiku Abubakar at the primaries or a Rotimi Amaechi at the primaries? Because Peter Obi has not really, if you look at his political trajectory, he has never stood at any major political primary and won that primary. In 2022, it was supposed to be his major test of national baptism in a major political party, but he left the PDP. The other times he was just as governor in 2003, and of course, you know what happened with Ngige and all of that, and he came and he got a renewable time. So 2022 was supposed to be his major test, but he left PDP, went to the Labour Party, and of course, you know what happened, and the ticket was handed over to him. Now, if a bigger political party, he wants to represent that big political party, he would have to face the bigger guys, like for example, Rotimi Amaechi or Atiku Abubakar. Can he defeat Rotimi Amaechi or Atiku Abubakar in the ADC? Or is the Labour Party, as it stands right now, are they willing to give him the ticket? Because we hear that some of them are not willing to give him the ticket. So beautiful proposition, but the platform now is the major problem that I'm saying. And the North will look at it from that prism and say, look, does he stand a chance? But look at Atiku Abubakar to also pitch in a one-term. Can he be trusted? Can the Northerners agree? Is it not easier for them to go with Bola Tinubu and be sure that in 2031 they will get it back than for them to go with an Atiku Abubakar that they are not sure? And then, of course, it will affect the geopolitics of the Nigerian polity. So it's left for Nigerians to decide.
Sumna, I get your point about platform. That has to be resolved. But I'm saying that any politician that comes to you and says, I'm going to do only one term, that's a sign of desperation. It will not work. Just like all these gambits about serving food, carrying plates, and doing boy at parties that could be better organized by event organizers. It's also a sign of desperation. It doesn't work. It will never work. And then the second challenge, of course, is that you say the North will buy into this idea of one term. No, the North will not. Because the civil war in this country has never ended. I don't believe that Northerners who are already aggrieved with a Yoruba president will just shift and embrace the possibility of an Igbo president. There are contradictions in this country that have not been sorted out. We should lay the emphasis on competence, ability. If the Nigerian people are politically educated to a point where they can vote for a competent person, regardless of where it comes from, regardless of his religion, that's when this country will begin to move forward. So all this, I will do one time, I will serve you food, I will give you agbado. No, please. That's not going to work, in my own opinion. I don't know whether you disagree.
Reuben Abati has been getting a lot of sticks from Nigerians today about the comments he made about Peter Obi. You know, literally insulting Peter Obi or taking veiled insult at Peter Obi. And Nigerians have come up for Reuben Abati for the statement that he made, and especially the Obidient family. They've literally come out at Reuben Abati because the statement he made was whether you call it an insult or veiled insult at Peter Obi, by saying that he's actually desperate to be president, or by saying because he's serving food and then caterers could do that, and he called that political gambit, and that it would never work. Yes, it's never worked. But Reuben Abati was misleading when he didn't say in the context with which Peter Obi was serving those people, because they already come out to explain to us that he didn't just serve them. and that it was somebody that asked them, I think it was the pastor or something, that asked them to serve the people, because politicians are not used to serving people anymore when they go there. And that's why Peter Obi was serving the people food. So he could have put that in context. Now, Sumner also made mention that Peter Obi has never won a major primary in any major political party. But what also Sumner failed to mention is that in those political parties in question during the primaries, there were already riggings and bribery in dollars of delegates. And remember when Peter Obi left the PDP to go to the Labour Party, it was because of that, because there were bribery of delegates and there were dollars, shared. Remember, they talked about how much Wike was sharing with dollars, and Amaechi did the same thing too as well, and even Atiku as well. They were delegates. I mean, I think that was what was alleged anyway. So I should put that in context too myself. So those were the reasons why Peter Obi left, because as far as you know, Peter Obi will not give anybody any penny. It doesn't give any shishi to anybody, like he's always said. So because he knew that was not going to be a fair playing ground, he left them. So we need to always put this in context, because when you have political analysts like Sumner, who's brilliant, but say things like that, he needs to also put that in context to say this is exactly why Peter Obi did not stay and did not win major political party from a primary from a major political party. So that's that in context. However, for Reuben Abati, it is obviously evident that Reuben Abati does not favor Peter Obi to be president at any point. But he did make mention of some very pertinent points where he said that as a people, we have to transcend tribes. We have to transcend ethnicity. We have to look at competence and character so that we can go away from this rotational presidency. This is something we've talked about on this channel on multiple occasions. Well, we've talked about Nigerians transcending this ethnic northern southern dichotomy of power sharing. And until we do that, it will remain. So I agree with Reuben Abati on that point. It is his veiled insult at Peter Obi and saying that, oh, the North would not support an Igbo president after they supported a Yoruba president. That is another ethnic bias and bigotry way of saying things, really, because that's what the likes of the APC always look out for. That's what they always look out for. So when somebody like Reuben Abati makes mention of that, and obviously saying the civil war is not over, then you realize that when it comes to Peter Obi, the standard is so high that they feel like the standard cannot be met and is not feasible in the Nigerian system. And that's why they always attack him. So when Bola Tinubu was contesting in 2023, we didn't talk about the civil war was not over. When Atiku was contesting in 2019, we didn't talk about the civil war was not over. Is it when Peter Obi is now contesting now, again in 2027, we're talking about civil war, when he appears to be the favorite? Even though we have an incumbent, is it incumbent? We have a president in Bola Tinubu anyway, so I just missed the words. But even though we have somebody in Bola Tinubu who is currently the president, but every time it comes to Peter Obi, because he's raised the standard so high, most of our politicians don't work in that realm. And that's what we're calling for. That's why we as a citizen, or we as citizens rather, are literally calling for, you know, result-based capacity, ability, character in the people who with such character and characteristics to be our leaders, who are transparent, who are accountable to the people, not the people to them. And then when it comes to Peter Obi, because he's raised the bar so high, these guys fidget, they fret a lot. And that's why when you hear a statement like that from someone like Reuben Abati, you wonder, you know, because at some point Reuben Abati was part of Jonathan's administration that was also so corrupt. So he needs to also put that in context. But by and large, like I said, Reuben Abati made some very fine points when he said that we need competent people. We need to transcend ethnic bias and tribe and get into the point where it looks at character, where it looks at competence, above region, ethnicity, and tribe. That's what I think. But yes, did he insult Peter Obi? Yes, I think he did that. He took veiled shot at Peter Obi. And I think Nigerians are right and in their right to actually call him out. And I think he's been getting the sticks for all the right reasons for it. That's why the likes of maybe Aisha Yusufu or Mama P can actually throw shots at him to say, look at what you're doing. But Nigerians are right. I think the days where these guys say things on national TV and get away with it, those days are past. There's citizen activation right now. We are activated. We want a better Nigeria. And this is the time. Again, I say Nigerians are activated for a better Nigeria, and nothing can stop Nigerians from getting that better Nigeria that we so desire. So put your thought, put your comments in the comment section. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Recommend this channel to others. I will catch you up in the next video. God bless you. Bye-bye for now.